The crowd went silent the second the black silk cover dropped from the car. Flashing cameras exploded across the auction hall. People stood up from their seats just to get a closer look. Sitting under the golden lights was a 1937 Bugatti, one of only 2 models left in the entire world, a machine worth more than most private islands. The auctioneer smiled and raised his hammer. Starting bid, $30 million. Within seconds, the numbers started flying. 32 million, 34 million, 38 million. The tension kept rising until a mysterious man named Jack calmly picked up his phone, contacted his boss, and delivered the final blow, $41 million. The room erupted. The legendary Bugatti had just been sold. But what nobody inside that auction hall knew was that the car would be stolen before sunrise. Miles away from the glamorous event, 2 brothers sat inside a dark sports car, watching the highway through binoculars. Andrew and Garrett weren't ordinary thieves. They were ghosts in the world of luxury cars. Fast, precise, untouchable, they had stolen some of the rarest vehicles on Earth and disappeared without leaving a trace. And tonight, they were hunting the Bugatti. Garrett smirked while adjusting his gloves, but Andrew looked furious. Garrett's girlfriend Stephanie had stolen one of their cars the night before and vanished with it for hours. Andrew hated distractions, especially before a big job. Then suddenly, headlights appeared in the distance. The truck carrying the Bugatti was coming. Everything moved fast after that. Garrett accelerated toward the truck, while Andrew wrapped a rope around his arm and prepared for the jump. As a massive trailer thundered down the road, Andrew launched himself through the air. For one terrifying second, he almost missed. His body slammed against the side of the truck, his fingers barely grabbing the metal edge before falling beneath the wheels. Garrett rushed closer, allowing Andrew to leap onto the roof of his car before climbing back onto the truck like a man possessed. Inside the cabin, Jack realized what was happening. He pulled out a gun and screamed at the driver to ram Garrett off the road. Metal crashed against metal. Sparks exploded across the highway. Bullets tore through the night sky. But Garrett refused to back down. He spun his car sideways, blocking the truck completely. The collision slowed the trailer just enough for Andrew to force open the back doors. Garrett climbed aboard and cut the brake wires while Jack emptied the last bullets from his pistol. Then, silence. The truck lost control. Andrew and Garrett jumped into Bugatti and desperately tried to start the engine while the trailer swerved violently behind them. Finally, the engine roared to life. The brothers escaped just seconds before the truck flipped across the highway in a massive crash. They had done the impossible. They stole a $41 million Bugatti. That night, the brothers celebrated at a crowded nightclub. Stephanie walked straight toward Andrew and slapped him across the face. "You stole a Bugatti without me?" Andrew laughed and promised she'd join the next heist. Because Stephanie wasn't just a girlfriend, she was part of the crew. The next morning, the brothers visited a man named Jimmy, the criminal middleman who usually bought their stolen cars. But the second Jimmy saw the Bugatti, his face turned pale. "This car doesn't belong to a normal man," he whispered. Andrew demanded payment, but Jimmy secretly signaled his guards. Within seconds, chaos erupted. Fists smashed into walls. Tables shattered. But there were too many enemies. Andrew and Garrett were beaten unconscious. When they woke up, they found themselves tied to chairs high above the ground. Standing in front of them was the real owner of the Bugatti, Morier, a billionaire businessman feared by criminals across Europe. The room fell silent as Morier slowly explained his past. He grew up poor, hungry, invisible. He built his empire by robbing people smarter and richer than him. And now, rare cars are the only things he truly loved. Then, without warning, Morier shot Jimmy dead in front of everyone. Blood splattered across the floor. The message was clear. Nobody steals from Morier and survives. But instead of killing the brothers immediately, Morier took them into a gigantic underground garage filled with the rarest cars on Earth. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Paganis, vehicles most people would never even see in their lifetime. Andrew and Garrett stared in complete shock. That's when Garrett made the boldest decision of his life. He offered Morier a deal. Instead of punishment, they would steal something even more valuable for him. A 1962 Ferrari owned by Morier's greatest enemy, Max, a genius billionaire who inherited a business empire at just 30 years old. A man so intelligent that he finished university while still a teenager. And hidden inside his private collection was a Ferrari so rare, only one existed in the entire world, worth over $50 million. Morier laughed at first. Stealing from Max was impossible. But Andrew looked him straight in the eyes. "Give us 1 week." Morier finally agreed. If they succeeded, they would live. If they failed, they would die. The brothers immediately started building a team. Stephanie recruited Devin, a beautiful pickpocket capable of stealing wallets from police officers without getting caught. Garrett instantly fell for her confidence and attitude. Then came Leon, an explosives expert who could destroy an entire building in minutes. For professional race drivers joined next. And finally, Laurent, Moriar's own cousin, a man nobody trusted. Laurent claimed he hated Moriar and wanted revenge, but Andrew believed he was secretly spying on them. Still, they needed him, because Laurent knew someone close to Max, a dangerous man named Cohen. To earn Cohen's trust, Andrew and Garrett had to prove themselves. Garrett completed an insane driving challenge by spinning a car inches away from glass bottles without breaking a single one. But the second challenge was madness. They had to stop a moving airplane before takeoff. Police chased him through the airport, while engines screamed across the runway. Garrett drove directly toward the jet at full speed and smashed his car into the engine moments before takeoff. A giant explosion ripped through the airport. The plane stopped. Cohen was speechless. These weren't ordinary thieves. They were monsters behind the wheel. Eventually, the team finally met Max himself. Instead of killing them for destroying his airplane, Max became fascinated by their confidence. He invited them into his mansion and revealed his secret garage filled with priceless cars. And there it was, the 1962 Ferrari. While everyone admired the collection, Andrew secretly watched Max enter the security code for the garage. Later, he quietly handed the numbers to Stephanie, but things were getting worse. Interpol agents suddenly appeared at the brothers' apartment, warning them they were the main suspects behind multiple international car thefts. Pressure closed in from every direction. Max, Moriar, Interpol, and time was running out. Then everything collapsed. Stephanie was kidnapped. Jack grabbed her in the middle of a market and dragged her away from Moriar. When Andrew discovered what happened, rage consumed him. He stormed into Moriar's mansion and attacked Jack brutally before Moriar stopped him at gunpoint. Then Moriar showed him something horrifying. Stephanie was tied beneath a suspended car, its spinning wheel inches above her face. One mistake, and she would die instantly. Moriar forced Andrew to reveal the entire heist plan. Bulldozers, police disguises, fake raids, every detail. But what Moriar didn't know was that Andrew had already planned to betray him. The next day, while Moriar waited confidently for Max's Ferrari to be stolen, Andrew's real operation finally began. The team stormed Moriar's mansion instead. Stephanie escaped from captivity and hacked the security system from inside. Alarms screamed across the property while guards rushed through empty hallways. Then Leon detonated explosives on the garage doors. Boom! The entire entrance exploded open. Within seconds, the team stole every rare car Moriar owned. When Moriar's men tried chasing them, they discovered Leon had planted bombs inside their vehicles too. One click, massive explosions lit up the night sky. Meanwhile, fake Interpol officers distracted Moriar long enough for the crew to escape. The betrayal was perfect. Moriar realized too late that he had been manipulated from the very beginning. A furious chase exploded across the city. Cars drifted through highways. Gunfire shattered windows. Laurent tried killing Andrew but crashed headfirst into a truck and died in a fireball. Then came the bridge. Leon triggered explosives too early, causing the bridge to collapse while Andrew was still driving across it. The car flew forward at maximum speed, barely escaping before the entire structure crashed into the river below. Moriar survived and chased them toward the port for one final confrontation. As Andrew stood beside Stephanie, he suddenly looked at her and smiled. "Will you marry me?" Even in the middle of chaos, she said yes. But seconds later, Moriar accelerated directly toward them in a suicide attack. And then, a bus smashed into Moriar's car from the side at full speed. The vehicle exploded instantly. Behind the wheel was Devin. Moriar was finally dead. The mission was over. Or so everyone thought, because the biggest twist came afterward. The Interpol agents had secretly been working with Andrew the entire time. And Max? He wasn't a victim either. He had been part of the plan from the beginning. The Bugatti theft, the Ferrari mission, the war between Moriar and Max. It was all a setup designed to destroy Moriar and steal his legendary collection. But Andrew had one final betrayal left. Days later, Devin arrived driving Max's priceless Ferrari, the same $50 million car they promised never to touch. Andrew had secretly given Devin the garage security code long ago. While everyone focused on Moriar's collection, Devin and another crew robbed Max blind. In the end, Andrew and Garrett outsmarted everyone. Moyer lost everything. Max got played. Interpol got their criminals. And the two greatest car thieves in the world disappeared richer than ever before. Because in their world, trust was always the most dangerous illusion of all. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments, would you risk everything for one last heist?